tell America how to end the war. I can only beg you to permit the Vietnamese people to speak their wishes. Let us try to work out a Vietnamese solution, because we now see that the foreign solutions do not work. In this way, you can also keep the affection of the Vietnamese people. I hope I have offended no one. Thank you very much.
Just be seated. This is the state.
I would think that these actions taken by Premier Xi would cause much more trouble to our country. And I think that all these events are only symptoms of a disease, that is the war. I think that the war will go on, and then events like this would occur more and more. You cannot end them at all because they are only symptoms. The statement to read to you, and then I will answer your questions. Today, wait to such matters. I do not come to you as an official spokesman for the Vietnamese Buddhists. My Buddhist colleagues know that I am here, but they did not send me to see you. I have come to America to describe to you the aspirations and the agony of the voiceless masses of the Vietnamese people of all faiths, who have no means to speak for themselves. I want to know. That is why I have taken the risk to come to America and speak the truth. Maybe you will find it strange if I say that it is a dangerous job for me to do. But if I am quite safe in New York City, it is not the case when I will return to Vietnam that this will happen to me, because I am a Buddhist monk with many friends in Western countries. But perhaps someone will assassinate me quietly and say that it was done by the Viet Cong. Or maybe the Viet Cong will kill me because they think I am friendly with the American people. That some Buddhist leader will be paid sacrifice is known. We know that you Americans are kind and generous people. Who can doubt it? You have given so much to my country, and I will never forget it. But today, many of our people begin to forget the good which the Americans have done for us. At first, we saw many experts, but now we see mostly soldiers. Too many soldiers. We do not think this is good. We do not think that these are the true Americans. Last year, to meet Vietnam's most prominent lawyers, doctors, and intellectuals obtained thousands of signatures on a peace petition, but the government ruthlessly crushed this peace effort, and the leaders were exiled and imprisoned or otherwise persecuted. So how can we find a solution when we are forbidden to talk together about it? We weep to see so many of our national economy is decided by the American Congress. We are not free people. Vietnamese culture, Vietnamese morality, Vietnamese dignity cannot survive in such conditions. Our young people know only warfare. Vietnamese youth who were forced to grow up as warriors are now having children who must also learn about death and murder before they are 5 years old. The Vietnamese people are very tired. They have listened to many others who have told them what they should do, but the war only continues and becomes worse. Now the Vietnamese people want to stop listening to others and to find their own way to peace. I do not know what freedom means. We do not want to see our friendship for America turn to hatred. But when the Viet Cong propaganda tells our people that the Saigon government is corrupt and a puppet of Washington, what are we to answer? Our people would laugh at us if we try to deny the fact. We know the sensitivity of our people. When you send new American troops, you only convert more people to join the Viet Cong. When you bomb our villages and destroy our food, you only make more friends for the National Liberation Front. So perhaps we must risk elections. We only ask the freedom to make our own mistakes rather than to die from the mistakes of others. If this not can be ended, we Vietnamese must discuss among ourselves. The law in Vietnam must be changed so that we can talk about this. Perhaps the law of Premier Key says that any Vietnamese who speaks aloud for peace may be executed in the Saigon marketplace.
Nhat Hanh, according to the latest dispatches from Da Nang, there seems to be fighting between the Buddhists and the Catholics. Do you think that this will reach proportions to take precedence over the fighting between the South Vietnamese and the Viet Cong?
I would not think that there is a struggle between the between the Catholics and the Buddhists. I think that all these symptoms are only the outcome of the war, and I think that if we cannot solve the problem of the war, all these things would occur again and again.
There are no elections in the fall.
Excuse me, could you like to repeat it?
Yes. What will happen if there are no elections in the fall, or if Premier Key does stay in power for another year as he has threatened to do?
No, it's still not understandable to me, please.
Assimilations on the part of the Buddhists?
I don't know for sure, but I think it may be possible.
What about the American troops there? Would it be easier to solve the problems if the American troops were withdrawn?
Well, I think that the question is not very clear because there must be many ways to withdraw the troops. And it depends on the way we do in order to be able to think of the outcome of it.
In your speech today, you said that American soldiers are making enemies among the Vietnamese peasants. Is this really bringing more converts to the Viet Cong?
That's exactly what happens in Vietnam.
How?
Because, they do not really understand Vietnam and the Vietnamese people. And the worst is that they cannot distinguish too well between the Viet Cong and the innocent peasants. If they keep shooting at the innocents, that is a real cause for the defeat of our government.
Do you see a negotiated settlement coming at all soon in Vietnam?
I think that we are hoping for a negotiation, but that can be had only if the U.S. could begin by showing its goodwill to arrive such a negotiation.
How should we do this?
I think that, means must be taken in order to show the Vietnamese that the U.S. intends to stop the war. Some declaration about it, some actions about that.
President Johnson keeps saying he wants peace.
Yes, but it is not enough for the Vietnamese to believe in his words, because the U.S. is still escalating the war, and nobody could believe him if this is going on.
Do you think we should stop the bombing of North Vietnam?
Also of South Vietnam and of the fighting, because we think that the peace can only be reached by these first efforts like that.
What about Peking and Hanoi? What do they have to do with this?
Well, we Vietnamese, we would like to be Vietnamese first. We want to stand on our own feet, and we struggle for Vietnam. And I think that if the Vietnamese want peace, and then they have to realize it. Well, although they know that there will be obstacles on their way.
I'm not going to say. Would the Vietnamese peasant rather be red than dead? Would the Vietnamese peasant rather be red than dead?